How's it going? This is Ty with Fiction and Copy Decoded with another copy thought for today. I'd like to talk about trying too hard, which I sometimes do, of course, because sometimes as writers or creative people or copywriters or other types of like introspective type pursuits, there can be a temptation, I think I've fallen into many times, you may have as well, to do as much as you possibly can to help people understand something to the point where you're not allowing them, and I know I've done this multiple times in my life, likely dozens, not allowing them to bring their own knowledge and their own setup to it, so that they can interpret things in their own way to still come at the conclusion that you want them to come to, but that you don't have to put in so much work. So it's like pointing the way or being a signpost to something rather than just having to drive somebody there or like drag them or lead them there personally. It's just, oh yeah, just go down the road a pace, it's the second right. You should see, a pile of blue rocks or something. And trusting them to do that rather than just doing things that are too hard, too forceful. Because that can result in loss of interest actually, or people just giving up or getting bored sometimes too, because you're not really implying anything. I mean, in the sense of a fiction perspective and so on, inspiring questions and curiosity. It's just, if you're laying out all the answers, then there's really nothing to find. But you have to have things open wide enough for characters or readers or prospects to be able to find the solution in their own way, or to think of not necessarily the solution in a fiction book, but as far as in a sales situation, like to come to that decision on their own with the things laid out in a particular order. They can put them together so that they come to that particular decision on their own, rather than having you leaping to it and telling them, although telling them to the point of like forcing, because if they don't, you do have to tell them about it to let them know things exist, like the blog store and podcast down in the description, so on. But they have to come to it on their own. If they're not interested, or if they're not part of your market, really nothing you do or say, unless they are marginally interested into it, is going to get them interested, really. Otherwise, it's not really doing things well, because it's not an effective use of their time or your time to try to convince them to take advantage of something they're not really interested in again, and maybe again don't really even care about.